Mark 9, verses 14 through 29. And we're going to pull out some nuggets and we'll be moving on in this hour. I will be reading from the New Living Translation because it just clarifies some things and make it a little bit plainer to where we are living in the year 2023. Somebody say it's 2023. Mark 9 and 14. When they returned to the other disciples, and we're talking about the Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus is coming down. He's got his disciples, the close ones that normally be with him. They're coming down. They're coming down off this supernatural occurrence. How many people have ever been in the spirit on the Lord's day? But you still have to get up and go to work. Oh, man, you couldn't float on the cloud all morning long, but you still have to go to Monday after Sunday service. Is anybody with me? So when they had come down to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd surrounding them, and some teachers of religious law were arguing with them. When the crowd saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with awe, and they ran to greet him. Verse 16, what is all of this arguing about? Jesus asked. One of the men in the crowd spoke up and said, Teacher, you all have ever heard the saying, Houston, we got a problem. This is one of those Houstons, we have a problem. Teacher, I bought my son so you could heal him. He is possessed by an evil spirit that won't let him talk. Verse 18, and whenever the spirit seizes him, it throws him violently to the ground. My God. Then he foams at the mouth and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast out the evil spirit, but they could not do it. Ask one more time. Jesus said to them, you faithless people, how long must I be with you? How long must I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. Bring the child to Jesus. Oh, somebody need to help me. Get them in God's, oh my God, God's face. And he said, bring the boy to me. So they brought the boy to Jesus. But after the bringing the boy or the girl or myself or my neighbor to Jesus, that evil spirit showed out again. Oh, see, See, just come to church don't make it complete. Put your hands together. There's a process to it. There's a process to it. And when the evil spirit saw Jesus, it threw the boy into violent convulsions, and he fell to the ground, withering and foaming at the mouth. How long has this been going on? How long has that left side been there? How long have you noticed this type of behavior? How long have you been struggling with the same thing? It's interesting that Jesus was asked a question that he already knew the answer to. But he's bringing to reveal knowledge that if something goes on and on and on and on and on, it's time to put the brakes on it. He said, how long has this been happening? He asked the boy's father. He replied, since he was a little boy. The spirit often throws him into the fire and into the water, trying to kill him. How many people are struggling in this year, 2023? You know it's a problem, but just haven't solved it yet. Somebody say, help us on the way. The spirit throws him into the fire, into the water, trying to kill him. Oh, here we go. Let's look at somebody say key number one. The father who had been struggling with things for years, since the son had been just a child, the adult that's been struggling, the neighbor that's been struggling, whoever, this is your key number one. He said, have mercy on us and help us if you can. Oh, that's what key number one. See, sometimes we endure things instead of asking God for mercy. Oh, here we go. We know it's wrong. We know it's left. We know it's messed up. But have you asked God for mercy? Can I get 3 people to say, have mercy, Lord? That's all. Have mercy and help us if you can. Key number 2. Verse 23, again, I'm reading from the New Living Translation. This was Jesus' reply. What do you mean, if I can? Oh, see, some people think Jesus was just this humble person, and he just kind of didn't bother with you, and he just kind of allow us to be faithless and unbelieving and half backslidden. Not so. He said, what do you mean if I can? There's no question that I can. So don't question if Jesus can. Oh my God. Anything, key number 3. Anything, somebody say anything. Anything is possible if a person believes. See, it's interesting how Jesus put it right back in our court. He said, don't question if I can. I need to know if you believe I can. Don't question if I love you. Don't question if I love your child. Don't question if I love your husband or your wife. Don't question if I want you healed, delivered, and set free. Oh, my God. I want to discuss, do you really believe I can? Or is it every time he falls in the fire, your faith is shaken? Every time the behavior keep going on, you get shaky. Come on, let's deal with some things. I need you to believe in me, not shaking me. Give God a praise right there. Anything is possible if a person believes. This is our next key. And this is where it comes to be real with God. Be real with the one that can make the difference. Be real. You know, when you go into court, you know, I'm not going to ask the number of people who've been to court, but some people in here have been to court before. You don't go up before the judge making excuses, especially when they got your record. Especially when they got your record. It's documented. They pull the background check. They pull the police check. They know more about the case than you do. So you have to be what? Now when you go up before the judge and he got something this high, you're actually leaning on the mercy of the court. The mercy of the judge. What do you mean if I can? Anything is possible if a person believes. This is where the father really stood up. The father instantly cried out, I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. He said, I do believe, But when he's withering down there and foaming at the mouth, it shakes me a little bit. Help me to overcome my unbelief when it gets hot, when it gets tense, when they start acting up and when they start acting out. Help me to be strong in that moment. Help me to be strong when I cut up. Somebody in here been cutting up. Well, it ain't my child, it's me. They're trying to keep me straight. I'm not going to ask the children who have to keep your parents straight. Don't do it. Don't raise your hand. But it's a fact of life. In the year 2023, my unbelief. I come to church. And I'm doing just fine. We getting ready to get out of here soon. I'm doing okay. But it's just certain subjects you don't need to talk about. Because if we talk about that, then I'm going to go off. So just don't hit on my that. And God say, how long are you going to hold on to? How long are you going to hold on to that? The man says, since my child has been a child. Unfortunately, there are people all over this congregation, both old and young, that are still struggling from childhood trauma. Decades of struggling with the same thing. And Jesus is saying, come on, believe in me. I need you and me. You and me. That way, if you spend time with me, you won't get no wrong advice. How many people would say medicated? Jesus said, no, I want deliverance. How many people would say just go to another church? Jesus said, no, I want some deliverance. When Jesus saw that the crowd of onlookers were growing, he rebuked the evil spirit. Listen, you spirit that makes this boy unable to hear and speak. He said, I command you to come out of this child and never enter it again. Here's another key for you if you're taking notes. Call it what it is. Jesus didn't dance with it. Jesus said, oh, you poor little thing, you didn't sleep well last night. No, you devil, come out of my child. Oh, you poor little thing, if I make your breakfast a little bit better tomorrow, you would treat me like a wife. No, you devil, come out of my husband. Oh, if I buy you a diamond ring, you'll act right. No, you devil, come out of my wife. Somebody say, call it what it is. So God can cure it. Then the spirit screamed and threw the boy into another violent convulsion and left him. The boy appeared to be dead. A murmur ran through the crowd as the people said, he's dead. That's another key if you're taking notes. Don't listen to people about your business. That's your business. But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him to his feet, and he stood up. Afterwards, when Jesus was alone in the house, the disciples asked him, why couldn't we cast out that evil spirit? Jesus replied, this kind can be cast out only by prayer. King James make it real. Prayer and fasting. Ask one more time. Some things are not going to move until we move into that place of being serious about getting rid of it. Some things are not going to move until we are so serious. We say, I'm fasting today. I won't even tell nobody I'm fasting today. I don't want breakfast. You don't want breakfast? No, I don't want breakfast. I'll catch something when I leave. And you know you're going to catch that Bible when you leave. Hassa. You see, sometimes we release too much information. Can somebody walk with me a little bit? You know, in the military, we have different types of warfare and different types of things that we do. And sometimes you have to, oh, here we go. You have to go in incognito. You have to make sure the devil don't know what you're doing. You know, sometimes some people in here haven't seen the fullness of what they want in God because they're telling too many people what they're believing God for. Hassa. And some of the people you're telling, not even your friend. You talk about, well, dog, I was that close. How many people did you tell? And so what our special forces would do, they just go, you can't even, oh my God. They can't even tell you from the next person on the outside. You see, one of the ways that you can confound the enemy is keep your joy. The devil know he got you up a tree when you took 3 or 4 earrings off. Beep, beep, pop, pop, boom. And devil say, I'll be back Friday. Because I know how I can get you. Hassa. So what you do is you dress yourself in the full armor of God. And you keep your joy. And you stand on a firm foundation. That's Jesus Christ himself. You don't have to say that I'm a mighty woman of God. They know when you walk in, mighty woman of God. You don't have to say I'm a mighty man of God. You don't have to say that I'm David and I got the Goliath up in the night. No, they walked in. When you walked in as a teenager or a young person and they knew it was something different about you, they went, uh-oh. Just walk in your faith. Walk in your authority. And let the Lord lead you. Old school. Then we're going to close up in prayer with the young people. Old school. Before you got to the house, they already anointed the house with some blessed oil they got from July prayer. Before you eat your eggs, they'd already put a couple of drops of that in your eggs. Old school. Anointed the pillows. Old school. Treated you good even when you were acting bad. Old school was so filled with the Holy Ghost. You can walk in there crazy as Cooter Brown and all the rest of them. And they'll say, have a seat, baby. And while you having a seat, they say, the blood of Jesus. Hassa. It don't have to be a natural war. You win this thing spiritually. You don't have to go off and threaten, I'm going to beat you till you can't stand up. No, I'm going to pray until you fall to your knees. There's a song that says, something got a hold of me.
Go ahead.
Something got a hold of me. Do anybody here want to go back to the days when something to get a hold of your loved ones? Are you hungry for the days where you just tired of saying the same thing over and over? And Jesus said, come to